Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Earlier today I made a video and I was talking about a video that I will post regarding a contendant for the Prime Minister to be the Prime Minister of Great Britain. And I did not mention the person's name, but I made a mistake at the end of the video and I used the gender. I'm sorry, my bad. The sex. So, I am sorry for you, my fellow British citizens, subjects, friends, because it seems like Liz Truss throws her hat into the race. And I said it in the other video that I think this is an example of from dumb going dumber. You can be upset with me, but this is the assessment, and I will tell you how you get to that, how I reached that conclusion. So this article comes from Bloomberg. Liz Truss joins race to succeed Johnson as UK Prime Minister. If she gets to be the Prime Minister, then that means they want. I will tell you what I think about this. It's a game here. Britain's Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has launched her bid to replace Boris Johnson as party leader and Prime Minister. At the heart of her campaign are tax cuts, including a pledge to make corporate tax more competitive. What does that mean? Lizzie Burden reports on Bloomberg's television. I think that's enough. Now, let me tell you this. You meet a person, first time you meet a person, and you talk with a person and, hello, my name is Elvis Presley. Okay, my name is Tom Jones. Nice to meet you. And they start talking, and you start talking with these people. And at one point, I don't know, the idea that, Japan, discussion about Japan. And none of these two guys over here, in this case Liz Truss, would not know, for instance, that Japan, the traffic is on the left side of the road, not on the right side of the road, like in England, like in Great Britain. You'd be like, wait a minute. Or, during the conversation, Liz Truss would not know how many continents are on this planet. Or when the Second World War ended, or maybe between or among what countries the Second World War was, let alone the first one. That's too far back, so she can't remember. She was not alive, so what do you expect? How would she know that? You. Anyway, you elitist. Elite. So, you figure out when someone doesn't know certain things that that person is not really, doesn't have a foundation of general knowledge about the world. Because he didn't ask, how many bows, I don't know, Michael Jackson had or did not have. You didn't ask that. Or you didn't ask, I don't know, about, Winston Churchill to say, was he bankrupt when he was picked to be the Prime Minister and by whom? You don't ask this kind of, these are too deep for these people. And say, okay, who were the sponsors of Winston Churchill? You don't ask this kind of question because it's a little bit way above the normality. But at least a foundation will tell you that one of the prime ministers, right, in the Second World War in Great Britain was Winston Churchill. And you don't ask, okay, he took over after who? No, you don't take, and that after who? No, you don't, it's too deep. But this general stuff, or at least you take a globe and you say, okay, can you point where, let's say, Alaska is? And you want to go right here. Or I don't know, where Zimbabwe is, and you go right here. You are not a dog catcher. You are a foreign minister who wants to become a prime minister. So you have some different expectations. You say, okay, how much is 1 plus 3? By the way, it is, okay? So you don't expect that person to know something. Now I'm going to give you the example that destroyed Liz Truss, among others. that I watched her talk and I read about her to tell me that she's below 86 and is dangerous. She visited Russia before the invasion and she had a meeting with Lavrov, and Lavrov said, you know, it's like talking a mute talking with a deaf. That's how we understood one another. And during the meeting, I mentioned this instance in another video a while ago. It was Lavrov, foreign minister of Russia, very well-read guy, diplomat. I like him. I'm not going to hide it. He's very intelligent. He's very presentable. I would like him in my team, but I have Blinken. Anyway, so that's one. It was him with Lizzie Truss, lazy, slow here. And with Lizzie Truss was the British ambassador to Russia. And Lavrov asked Lizzie, Miss Truss, let's best be nice. I had some wine a little bit, so please understand that. So that's when you get more creative, but it needs to be dark outside. Then when it's dark and with some wine, then you think that you're creative. I don't know about the people who talk to you, think, oh, go to bed, Emil. Anyway, so let's talk about Truss. So Lavrov asked a question. It's like I would ask, let's say, United States of America. In the United States of America, I would ask Liz Truss, and I say, hey, what do you think, Miss Liz Truss? Should Arizona, do you agree with Arizona, California, and New Mexico to be part of the United States of America? And then Liz Truss would say, Great Britain will never agree with those 3 states belonging to United States of America. Okay, so that's what Lavrov did. He asked, hey, Miss Liz Truss, Foreign Minister of Great Britain, what do you think? These 2 provinces should stay in Russia? What should we do with them? And she said, without knowing the name or what this guy was talking about, she assumed that those were Lugansk or Luhansk and Donbass and you know what I mean. So she said, Great Britain will never recognize those as independent and belonging to Russia. And then you had the ambassador, the British ambassador, he was like, for underneath, with a foot, and said, excuse me, Madam below 86 IQ, those were always Russian provinces. And she was like, oh. So for me that, and her reaction, instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with those territories, can you, brief me about that? Ask this. And this guy would say, yeah, those were all, okay. And then she tells her position. She assumed that those were the 2 breakaway republics. She didn't know anything. So when I heard that, that was for me the last, like the door was, and when I heard that, like clunk, and then boom, and 15 locks around the door. Never Liz Truss. Now, I watched a show, a comedy show with Joe Rogan when he was younger, and he said that what's going on with these guys? They think they bring. He said, did you notice that the presidents of the United States that are put forward for us to vote are dumber and dumber? So what's going to be next? He said. It's very politically incorrect in those times. It was about 15-20 years when this occurred. So you can use certain terms that now is, oh my God, you're so insensitive, Emil. But there's a definition. If the action meets the definition, what do you want me to do? Fake it? Yeah, that's what they want to do. So he said, I think these guys, and he is very funny in saying that, and he said, I think these guys gonna think about something dumber. And then dumber, and saying, I can't believe these guys voted for this dumbass. And then next time we're gonna try with a dumber one. And they tried. Look what we got now. Look what Liz Truss, and I was about to say Ben Johnson, the athlete. No, Brian Johnson. No, what's his name? Robert Johnson. So the Prime Minister of Great Britain. What's his name? Boris Yeltsin. Boris Johnson, he was not smart. Whatever he said and the way he behaved, the same. I have examples. But this woman is even worse than that guy. So if she gets there, that means they're going to follow the same rule that in the United States we have. Look at, what's his name? George W. I think he was not ready. And then we got Barack Obama, who was just trying to be cool, but he didn't know shit. He was he was a scholar in the constitutional scholar. He didn't know shit. I heard him saying he tried to be articulated and all cool. He was like, man, go and hit some books and read something. Get the fuck out of here. That's how I felt about that guy. And then we got, what do we have? Trump. All right, I don't know how much that guy, but he was entrepreneur. He was all that, all that. And now we have this guy. So do you think that we went up? We went like in the Idiocracy movie that I keep commercializing it here, making, advertising here. Down and down and down, lower and lower. So if Liz Truss gets to be your prime minister, and anyone can be. Anyone can. Take a kid. 5th grade kid. Going to be better than Truss. You know why? Because that kid is not tainted yet. Didn't get into the world. He's still naive. He's still clean. His soul. She's old enough to realize how the world works. And sorry, if she wins, I don't want to contemplate that. But that's a possibility. She's the foreign minister, so she got to that position already. She's way above her intelligence and her knowledge. In my assessment, not opinion. Assessment. Opinion could be no, assessment based on evidence. Just listen to her. She's the foreign minister. Can you believe? I can't believe that. I cannot believe. And she's of the Great Britain. Not, I don't want to insult, but I will. Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, whatever, Zambia, or who the knows. I'm saying that because those countries don't have such an influence on the planet versus Great Britain. That's why I'm saying that. Not because Great Britain is better than Zimbabwe and this. It might be in certain things, but if you look at Liz Truss and put Mugabe, who poor guy is gone, I think he got more diplomatic sense than this woman. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, be just, and guys, be careful with Liz Truss.